Hey, welcome back. So today we're going to make a different kind of pickup. It's still going to be a coin, and you can apply this to any shape or whatever you want it to do. But one of my students had asked me if we could make the coin move, something I hadn't even really thought about for the game, but that does add another level of difficulty to it, and along with our obstacles. So that seems like a good thing to do. But the way we have the coin set up now is going to make it kind of difficult for us to be able to do that. So we're going to have to basically rebuild the coin, but we're going to take a few shortcuts along the way that'll make things a little bit easier for us. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go ahead and check out Putting on the Fritz 3D Visualization. Check out some of the previous videos for this game that we're building, and also check out some of my other content, see what's out there. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm talking about here. Okay. So here is my demo level where I've been kind of putting some of these concepts together. And you'll see that I have blue coins and green coins, and they go up and down at different rates. These two I have set to go at a different rate, and they're spinning at different rates, these two. And then they also move in this direction. You can also have them move in other directions as well. So that's kind of what we're going to do. You can see these are the regular coins, and you see I've turned on the collider. So we can see where the colliders are. Those are the only objects right now with these colliders on them that are turned on. So that's why you see the red circle. That is where our problem is that collider. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fix the coin so we don't have that issue. All right, so let me see here. Get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back to content drawer. Back to content, not Adobe. Why do you want to pop open? All right, we're going to go back to our content. We're going to go to our blueprints, and we're going to go to actors. And right here where I have pickups, I'm going to create another pickup. And I would duplicate this one, but because of the way we had it set up, with the sphere collider being right here, and we removed the default from right there. We went ahead and drug that up and replaced the default scene route with the collider. So once we did that, it kind of broke the chances of using this one. If you did not, you may be able to follow along without it. But the big thing is this sphere is where the problem is. We can make the coin move up and down and left and right by using its relative rotation or location and move it just kind of like we did with the cannon. But where that gets into trouble is that the collider doesn't move with that. So we have to use a different type of a movement method by setting its location, and that kind of breaks things. So it would be just easier to fix it the way I'm going to show you. So we're going to create a new coin. So we're going to go ahead and right click. I'm going to right click in here, and I have these as coins, whatever you have them as, and you can rename them however you want. But we are going to make another blueprint class, and it's going to be an actor. And I'm going to BP underscore, and I'm going to call mine green coin, because I'm going to use a method to change the material to give it a kind of a green tint like you saw in the demo video, or in the demo game. So I'm going to double click and open up this BP green coin, and with my other coin open, okay, as well, leave it open, make sure you open it up, so you want to pull that one up. So the first thing I'm going to do is under here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add another, and this will be another cylinder, because I'm going to go ahead and modify it. There we go, shape cylinder. Okay, and for my shape cylinder, what I had done was, let's see here, what was the size of that thing? So we reduced it down here by 0.5. So I shrunk it down completely by 0.5 in all three directions. And actually in the Z direction is 0.05. There we go. And I may need to go a little bit smaller, but we'll see. And then I rotated it here in the X direction 90 degrees. And, oh, I see what happened. All right, so I got to unlock it because this is 0.5, this is 0.5, and that one is supposed to be, there we go. That one's supposed to be 0.05. So now we've got the right look on it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just do all the blueprinting and leaving it white the way it is right here. And then at the very end, I'll change the material and show you how to change the material if that's something you're interested in. But I'm not going to make you sit through that process if it's not. Okay, so now we've got our basic shape set up. And the other thing we need to do is we need to go over here and we need to change our collision presets, because we did that with the collider last time, but we're going to do that with the shape this time. These shapes already come with a collision set up on them. They already have a collider on them inside of the static mesh. So what we want is we want overlap all. Okay, we're going to select overlap all for this one, and that's going to give us the setting so that when we do overlap it, it will work the way we want it to. Okay. Now we're going to go in and we're going to go ahead and compile and save this so we don't lose anything. We're going to go back into our event graph, and here we don't have anything. Our event graph is empty, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple things. We're going to make our life a little bit easier. First, we're going to go down here to where it says variable, right? Now, if we pop back over to this coin, we're going to copy these and paste them into our new coin. But in order for this to work correctly, we're going to want to make sure that we have the same stuff that we have here for our variable, and if we have any functions, we may want to pre-set up our functions first, but we don't. So we're going to go ahead as far as functions, but we're going to just go in here, and we are going to add a variable, and this is spin rate. Okay, and remember, it's not a Boolean, it is a float, and we're going to open up the eyeball on it so we can adjust that later on. We're going to compile it, we're going to save what we've got. Now I'm going to jump back over here, and I'm going to highlight. So I'm just going to do a marquee select. I'm just going to highlight everything just like this. All right. I'm going to Control C. So Control C for copy. I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to Control V. Okay. And what happened was, since we already had an event actor begin overlap, it grabbed that and put that in there. And we were also using the event tick. It grabbed that and put that in there for us too. And since we had our spin rate variable set up over here already, it went ahead and pulled that in and set it up for us. But now what we got to do is we got to give our spin rate back something. So I'm going to put 5 in here for right now, okay? So we got a basic default, and we could, if we wanted to, we could put a slider range in here to limit it, but we're going to leave it the way it is. I'm going to compile, save it. So now our green coin should have the similar functionality that our previous one had, and we can double check that. So I can go back into my level, I'll go to my drawer, I'm going to pull this coin out, and I'm going to set it right here. Make it so I can see it. Maybe it's a little bit closer to my player start. Pull it up off the ground a little bit. Alright, so my player starts is somewhere around there. Hit play, and there it is. It's spinning just like it did before, and if I run into it, it will disappear, and it has all the sound and everything that was functional on the other one, and it works exactly the same way. So that one's done already. So now what we need to do is we just need to add in our movement, and we're going to actually have to do this a few different ways, and we are going to use this event begin play. All right, so again, we're going to come down here, we're going to add a variable, and we're going to call this movement rate, just like we did in the last video. Okay, it's going to be a float, and we're going to open the eyeball up on that. Okay, compile it, save it, and we're going to give the movement rate something like a 1 right now. We can always come back and change it, and again, we could also limit the changing range difference, but I don't know if that's really necessary right now. I'm going to compile, save it. I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit on my event begin play, and just like before, we're going to pull out, we're going to get the delay. Okay, we can give ourselves a little bit of a delay, and that delay is going to be based off of our movement rates. Okay, and we're going to connect that up. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create, we're going to create, okay, I'm trying to decide where I want to go. We're going to go in order. We're going to go ahead and create a new timeline, okay, and we're going to end up creating 2 timelines. And if you want this to move on all 3 axes, you're going to need to create 3 of these. But I'm only going to do 2. All right, this one's going to be movement. Wow. Up and down. All right, so up and down. There we go. If I could just slow down a little bit. All right, now I'm going to hover over this, and we're going to hold the control key, get our little hand, pull it down to play from start, because we want it to play from start. Okay. We're going to double click on this one. We're going to go in here, and we're going to just need and add a float. Okay. And this float. Okay. So we're going to start here, and we're going to give it a name. So we're going to call this one. We'll just call this up and down. Okay. Whoop, come on. Click in here. Okay. Don't be difficult. Up and down. So that we know it's moving up and down. We're going to right click. We're going to add a key. That first key is going to be 0 for time and 0 for value. Okay. I'm going to got ahead of myself here. We're up here at length. I'm going to change this to 8. We're going to make this 8 seconds long. Okay. So now we have 8. We have our first timeline here. We're going to add our next keyframe. I'm going to right click. We're going to add keyframe. And this is going to be at the midpoint. It's going to be 4. And I'm going to have it move 200. Now this is a number I'm just pulling out to give mine a certain movement distance. If you want to have it so that you have a coin that moves a different amount, then you come in here and change it to whatever you want. You may need to make a couple different types of pickups with different movement distances in order to take advantage of that, but that's up to you. You could just leave them all the way they are. All right, so this one's 4 and 200, and now the last one, I'm going to add a key here, and again, it's going to be, why did I add that one to 0? This one actually should be, oh, that's right. So this one should be 8, and it should be 0, okay? 0. All right, so now if I click in here, hit F on my keyboard, it should look like this. Again, another pyramid, pretty straightforward. It's going to go out and it's going to come back. Okay, out and come back. Now that's all set up. We can go ahead and compile it and save it. Now we're going to go back to the event graph. I'm going to click on this and I am going to Control D and duplicate it. Okay, and I'm going to change the name from up and down to left and right. And maybe if you want a different one, a third one, you would call it back and forth or something to be able to identify the different directions. Okay, and maybe it's not left and right, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to double click on that, and the name right here, I'm going to right click, I'm going to rename that left and right. I guess that's all a matter of perspective from the direction you're looking at it. But anyway, compile, save, go back to event graph. So I got 2 of those now. But what we need now is we need to also create the actual movement for up and down and left and right. So we're going to make a function. Okay, I'm going to add this function. And I'm going to call this up and down. I guess movement up and down. So I know what it is. Killing myself with my typing. All right, up and down. I'm going to select the purple little thing here, the little node. Over here on inputs, I'm going to add a plus. We're going to change it to a float. And we're going to name this movement up and down. Okay? Now, that's the hardest part of it. We're going to pull off from here, and we're going to type in set relative. And we want set relative. It probably should be the set relative transform. Actually, I'm going to do location. Set relative location, okay, for the cylinder, which, again, didn't name it. I'm going to click up here. There we go. And I'm going to rename it green coin. Okay, since I'm going to make this one green. If you want, you can just also name it pickup. Compile, save that. Go back to my movement up down function, and it should have changed. So what I'm going to do is right here where it says new location, I'm going to right click. I'm going to split the struct. Or yeah, split it. And I'm going to have this one move. Since this is up and down, it's going to go in the Z location. I'm going to compile. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go back to my event graph. I'm going to pull this one out. Okay. I'm going to connect it up to, let's see, it should go to update. Okay. And then from there, I'm going to drag it actually, and I'm also going to connect up the up and down. Don't forget that. We need that. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit so it's kind of like that. Once this one's finished, I want it to go over here and I want it to fire this one to play from start. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and take this and I'm going to see if I can do it this way. Let's see. Can we duplicate that? That doesn't do anything for us. So what I'm going to do is, since this is a short one, we'll just go ahead and make another one. We're going to hit plus down here. And this one's going to be called movement. So we're adding another function. We're going to make this one movement left and right. Okay. And again, same thing. We're going to select a little purple node here. We're going to add the inputs. And we're going to call this one move left and right. Okay. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to set relative location. Relative location for our green coin. So relative location for the green coin. We're going to split this struct again. And this time, we're going to move it, I don't know, X direction. Okay. And the next one, if you wanted it to move in the third direction, you'd follow the same process and call it move back and forth or something and put it in the Y. So I'm going to compile it, save it, go back to my event graph. We're going to pull this one out from here. This is why we name them so we know which one goes where. This is also going to be update. So we're going to update that. And then once this one's finished, we're going to go ahead and hover over that. We're going to drag out from there, drag it all the way back to the very beginning of the delay. Okay, and let me pull things around a little bit so I can see them. Let's see, that's this one right here. Pull it up. Nope, not what I want to do. Okay, double click over here. Come on. There we go. All right, and I'll clean this up a little bit later. Highlight everything. Again, go ahead and comment this, and this will be, the comment's going to be movement. Something like coin or pickup movement, whatever it is that you have. Okay, so we know what that one's supposed to be. We'll compile it, save it. Now we go back. We already have one of these out here, so let's see if it actually moves now. Okay, so there it goes. It's going up. Well, that's not what we wanted it to do. That's kind of strange. Kind of cool in a little bit of a way. Oh, I know why. Okay, so one last thing for this. One of the other things we need to fix is down here. When we put this together, when I put this together, I set the delta rotation so that basically everything is getting changed, 0, 0, and the Z. And we're also doing this is to add to local rotation. I'm going to select that one and I'm going to delete it. Okay, what we really want in here is to put in relative location. It worked with what we had before, but it gives us that kind of funky movement, and also because I was changing all three of it on all the vectors. But we're going to do relative again, and we actually want to set relative rotation rather of the green coin or whatever your pickup is. All right. So, and I'm going to break this struct out on this one. And I'm going to break it out on here. There's other things we can do to get to this, but it works the same way. And we're doing this on the spin rate for the Z. So we're just going to go ahead and only change the Z. Compile, save. Now if we go back and watch this, Well, that's not exactly what we intended. All right, so after digging into it for a few seconds here, discovered that set relative location or rotation does exactly that. It changes everything. Since I have 0 and 0 for these, it changed it to 0. We don't want to set at this point. That's my bad. We're going to go ahead and delete that. What we really want is add relative rotation to my green coin. And we're going to split this struct. All right, so there was a little error, and you get to see how it works out, and hopefully that's something you'll remember in the future. So there we go. Now we have our coin going up and down, and now it should go and spin left to right. And there we go. I'm going to go to the end. It'll pause for a second, and then it'll go back up and back to the right. Okay, so one last thing we need to do to get our coin actually fully functional into our game is to make sure that we also name it a collectible like we did with our BP coin here. So if we go up to the top here and under details and type in tag, remember, and actually we need to select the top BP here. We have our collectibles written here. So I'm just going to highlight that and Control C to make sure I get it exactly the same way. And now I'm going to jump over to my BP green coin and select the top level here and type in tag. I'm going to hit the plus symbol here and type or Control V and put in collectibles. And now I'm going to go ahead and close that there, compile everything, save everything. So now that I go back to my level, I were to pick that coin up, it would allow me to, and I'm going to go ahead and move some things around a little bit to make it a little bit easier and quicker. Grab my player, throw my player over there somewhere. Grab my coin. And you can leave these other coins in there too. Might make things easier, I don't know. So I'm going to just go ahead and grab that. I'm going to grab these 3 coins here, push them over so I don't have as far to go. Alright, so now I'm going to hit play. Alright, so if I pick up these 3 coins, go here, it should restart me, and it does. So now if I pick up these 3 coins, and pick up this coin, should take me to my next level, which it does. Alright, so everything's working the way it's supposed to. Don't forget to add the collectibles. So that's it for the movement piece. I am going to go ahead and show you real quick how to modify the material on this one. And let's go ahead and do that. So I want to use the similar material that's on my ball. Actually, I don't have that one in this one. So let me find my mega scans, see what I have. Okay, so I want to use a shiny material, which isn't here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to bridge. I'm going to go to my surfaces, find my metal, and I want treated. And I'm going to find this one right here, this hot blue steel. And I'm going to go ahead and download it, okay? So inside of here, I could use it this way, and that would look fine. But what I want to do is I want to give it a green tint. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. I'm going to Control D to duplicate it. And take these pieces of it off at the end. It's way longer than I need it to be. And instead of blued, it's going to be green. Okay. Now with it selected and renamed, I'm going to double click on it. And I'm going to play around with the tint here, the albedo tint. I'll select it. I'm going to go to a greenish color down here. I'm going to say OK. and it's pretty shiny, but I want it to be even more shiny. So I am going to find the metallic one right here, turn on the controls, and I'm sorry, actually it's roughness. I want it to be shinier, so I'm going to use roughness, not the metal. And we're going to, so 0 is the more shiny, 1 is more rough, so I'm going to give it like a 0.2. Let's save that, save my entire level, okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and in my content drawer, actually I already have it up here, my BP green coin, I'm going to go ahead and select the green coin, and I'm going to make this its base material so that every time I pull it out, that's the color that it's going to be. And now go back into my level and hit play, and you'll see that the coin is now shiny green, reflective, exactly what I'm looking for, and it should have all the functionality of the other coin. All right, and that is it for this video. If you have any questions, make sure you post them down in the comments section, and I will be more than happy to try to get back to you and answer any questions you have. If you liked what you saw, please like the video. Make sure you stop off and check out Putting on the Fritz 3D visualization right up here somewhere. And then subscribe. I'll see you next time.